Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us at Be Our Guesty and Vrbo Industry Insights from the Experts. I am Vrbo Schwartz, President and COO of property management company Guesty. And with me today are two amazing guests, the one and only John Suzuki, Global Evangelist and Opsman of the Expedia Group, and Stacy Shimyon, Senior Partner, Success Account Manager representing Vrbo. And thank you so much for joining me, John and Stacy. Great to have you. We're going to start with some opening remark about the market trends that we're seeing here at Guesty, followed by a presentation by John with the help of Stacy about emerging travel trends and consumer behavior from the Vrbo Insights, and followed by a fireside chat with my distinguished guests about the trends that we're seeing and how we can help property managers succeed even further. And of course, we will then open it to Q&A from the audience. So I want to start with this holiday season that looks extremely promising, although we still expect some fluctuations due to new variants and additional unexpected. I think we got used to expect the unexpected throughout the last year and a half. But looking at booking volumes for Thanksgiving, we're 302% above 2020, which is amazing. And a lot of people are asking me, but how does that compare with pre-COVID numbers? So yes, we're 93% higher than 19 Thanksgiving numbers as well. So way over and above the pre-COVID numbers. Same with Christmas booking volume at 469% higher than 2020 and 157% higher than pre-COVID Christmas of 19. We see a similar trend in the UK, still just getting to the levels of pre-COVID, but 433% higher than 2020. But not only are we seeing higher occupancy, travelers are willing to pay a premium for the holidays. And we see that prices for Christmas are 53% higher than 2020 Christmas numbers and 80% higher than 19 numbers. And if you look at the UK, 102% higher than last year. That's what you're going to pay per night for your UK Christmas travel, and 47% higher than 2019 Christmas holiday. So definitely people are willing to pay a lot, and we'll speak and understand why travelers are willing to pay so much for the short-term rentals this holiday season. What's also interesting to see is throughout the pandemic, the OTAs remained resilient and have been the primary source for bookings for travelers around the world. So even at the high peaks of the pandemic in Q2 and Q3 of 2020, over 85% of bookings were done through the major OTAs and not through other channels. We also found out that new travel personas have emerged in the past year and a half that we may have not considered earlier. Families is something we'll talk a lot of in this session, but also people that took the opportunity that they can work from anywhere and travel outdoors and enjoy a scenic new office. Cityscapers heading to rural areas, luxury travel has become very popular, and even life shoppers that took the opportunity of working from anywhere to experience new cities and live a month or two in other places. I want to zoom in on families because we've seen them as a major persona that has emerged in the past year and a half, and something Vrbo actually specializes in. We know that vaccinated people are still from the age of 12 above. We are talking about vaccinations for 5 to 12 coming in shortly, but currently most children, even a lot of children over 12 years old, are not yet vaccinated. And that means that their families are looking for a safe location to travel, want to have a secluded area. And this presents an opportunity for short-term rental operators to offer them the spacious and child-proof accommodations with the highest standards of cleaning procedures that are extremely important, especially if you're close to kid-friendly attractions such as amusement parks or the outdoors, beaches and lakes. That would be a great opportunity for you. So we definitely think there are a lot of ways to cater for this new audience, and John will also be speaking about it shortly. And I want to end with just mentioning again the Guesty Vrbo partnership, which we invested a lot in the past few years. We're very proud of it. Guesty is a preferred Vrbo partner, and I believe that throughout our relationship in the past couple of years, we have shown to improve the property manager experience while utilizing this partnership. We've managed to make it as seamless as possible and allow you to, if in the past you had to spend a lot of time uploading new listings, now the process is seamless, it's quick, almost instantaneous. We also saw that if in the past it took 8 days on average to onboard a new property manager onto Vrbo, now it takes only a day. So we really invested on both sides a lot to make this a great experience for all parties involved. And there are many results to that. One is that over the past year, Vrbo has tripled the listings that they see from Guesty because the experience is so pleasant and helpful for all parties involved. And we intend to continue and push on giving you the best customer experience as we continue to drive forward with the short-term rentals taking the main stage, as we can see throughout the pandemic and going forward as well. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to John Suzuki to tell you more about what Vrbo is seeing and what they recommend for you to do in order to continue and drive demand to your properties.
Excellent, Vera. Thank you so much for that introduction, and really great update on what's going on in the vacation rental industry. My name is John Suzuki, and I've got the title of Global Evangelist and Ombudsman, which everybody at Expedia Group is really jealous of. They say I've got the best title in the world. But anyway, and as far as I'm concerned, I got the best job in the world. But Stacy's here to join me. What Vered had talked about, there's so many exciting things going on right now, and we're so excited about our partnership with Guesty, because we are moving forward very quickly. Over the next months and years, you're going to see us make things easier, better, more advanced, and self-serve. I mean, there's so much opportunity that we're seeing in the industry itself, but also from a technology standpoint. And that technology integration and that close partnership that Vrbo has with Guesty is so important, because whether you like it or not, travel has become high tech, right? And everybody knows that. And so Vered and the Guesty folks, thank you so much for inviting us to be here and to share some insights on what's going on. We love this partnership. All right, this is just a quick introduction. Travel is a force for good, and we are a force for travel. And when I talk about we, I'm talking about you, I'm talking about me, I'm talking about all of us, okay? It is really a great force for the world, right? To bring the world together and contribute to the betterment of the world. And that may sound really like Pollyannish, but some of you who have heard me speak over the years have heard me say it's all about love. It really is. It's all about love. It's all about bringing people together. And I want to share with you right now one of my absolute, probably my top 3 absolute favorite video advertisements of all time. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hugo Salgado.
And I'm Thomas Olivas.
We're Thomas's family, and we're here to surprise them. We want a big wedding and have like everybody there.
But we didn't because of the pandemic.
I had my son, William, in September.
She has no idea that we're here.
Get to see our grandson.
There's one very special aunt.
I am so excited to see my favorite niece. I keep telling everyone I hope she doesn't faint.
I miss my grandfather.
We're ready.
We're just all looking forward to being together.
Try it. Here we go.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone, I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Vrbo believes there's nothing more important than being with the people you love.
Isn't that like awesome? I love that. And because that's the industry we're in, you guys. That's the industry we're in. It's all about love and bringing the world together for the betterment of the world. And God knows that we need to do something to make our world better. I mean, with everything that's going on in the world, and we have such an opportunity. And so, our opportunity right now after COVID has been about restoring travel and restoring travel together, right? Now, one of the things that we do on this next slide is we focus on families, right? It says here, together our mission is to find every family the space they need to reconnect, relax, and enjoy precious time together. And 85% of those folks who book on Vrbo are family and group travelers. That's awesome. We've really, really focused on families. It's a wonderful, wonderful demographic. And those are the people that we've chosen to really, really focus on. They're really good guests. Some would say that they're great guests, right? They stay longer. They stay longer with Vrbo than Airbnb, and certainly based on our data, 3 times as long as the average hotel stay. So they spend a lot more money with Vrbo, and more booking revenue. You can see the numbers there. And again, families. We talked about for a long time, not only getting you more bookings, but getting our partners better bookings. And our view on the better bookings is that families are the best, right? They know how to be responsible. They know how to live and behave properly in other people's homes. And they're just really, really wonderful people. So as the next slide says, we're here to earn your partnership. We want to earn your business, and we know that we have to earn your business with every step of the day. Now, step of the way. So now, with regard to keeping up with what's going on with traveler trends, here's just a few things, right? 59%, and this is in the United States, 59% of families say that they're still more likely to drive to their destination than to hop on an airplane. So that number is starting to come down as more and more people become more and more comfortable hopping on airplanes. Still, 61% are looking for wide open spaces, right? So, but that number is going down, and more people, as Vera had mentioned in her opening, are looking at urban centers, going back to the cities and traveling back to the cities, which is really, really great. And really, really big thing that happened over COVID is this thing that we call flexcations, mixing work with play. And that's still something that's going on, even though folks are going back to school and going back to work. There's the COVID brought on a lot of flexibility that kind of forced companies to allow their employees to work from home, and so that's still happening right now. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a couple of minutes, because 2/3 of people say that who've tried doing a flexcation say they're going to do it again. Now, the big thing that you need to understand about flexcations is that the idea of flexcations is is serving less of a vacation and more of life, right? When people go on flexcations, they do intend to work. So they want to see your workspaces. They want to see that you have, if you have a desk, show the desk. They want to make sure you have high-speed Wi-Fi. Some schools are still allowing kids to learn remotely. Certainly companies are still allowing that to happen. So you need to understand some of those dynamics. It's about living. People want to bring their pets. That's a big thing. So just understand that folks are looking to spend more money because of the pent-up demand, and they're looking to stay longer on their vacations. Okay. Now this chart shows some of the 4 top things that we have found that travelers expect. Okay. And you've heard these things, but they are still alive and well. I'm going to talk about all these things: cancellations and refund policies. We're going to talk about, we're not going to talk about travel reviews except for right now. And I'm going to tell you that they're still really important. Okay. And so really make sure that, I mean, super, super, super important. That has never gone away. It is even more important than ever before. Okay. Specific amenity information and cleanliness. Now, we've been talking about cleanliness for the last 18 months, and the fact of the matter is it is still front row center. So I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. Flexibility matters. Now, as COVID went through, obviously, you guys, some of you guys who are Vrbo partners, you found that when COVID happened, everybody wanted a refund. All the travelers wanted a refund. Now, some of our competitors unilaterally decided just to, without your permission, just to refund your guests' money. We took a different approach, and we gave you the power. We gave you the control. Now, we wanted everybody to give refunds and credits, but we didn't force it. And so we gave you guys the option to do that. And everybody performed spectacularly. Everybody did exactly the right thing in giving refunds and credits. That energy has continued, right? Now, as COVID started to go away, people started to revert back to their old, pretty rigid cancellation policies. But then the Delta variant came in, and the uncertainty came back. So take a look at your cancellation policies. And I understand that it's market by market and it's home by home. If you have big 12-bedroom homes, you know, you might not want to give them cancellation policy of canceling within 30 days. But really take a look at that, because it does matter. And we're seeing that conversions do increase when you have that flexibility in your cancellation policies. Okay, and so the next thing I just want to talk with you very briefly about is your cleaning protocols. Make sure you are advertising them on your listing. Make sure, to this day, there's a whole bunch of folks that aren't mentioning their cleaning protocols on our Vrbo listings. Make sure you show them. And in your pictures, if you are showing pictures of anything that's not perceived as clean, like triple sheeting. Everybody's expecting triple sheeting these days. They're not looking for the big luxury quilts and things like that, okay? But make sure you advertise your cleaning protocols. If you guys are doing something special, let them know. Because even though they might not be asking you when they arrive, they are looking for it as they're looking to book your properties, all right? Now, let's talk about amenities real quick. Amenities are really important. And there are some amenities that travelers are willing to pay for or pay more for in your homes, okay? And I'm going to just tell you a couple. I'll get to that in just a second. All right. So the idea is having the right amenities. On this next slide, it shows the different amenities that people are looking for. Okay. Number one thing. There's a saying that I created almost 3 decades ago with IBM. And that saying is, today's luxury is tomorrow's expectation, right? Yesterday's luxury is today's expectation, is the same way to say it. High-speed internet is no longer a luxury. It is an expectation, especially in the world that we live in today. You have to have it. If you don't have it, and advertise it, make sure you have it listed, and make sure you have it on your search criteria. And if you don't have it, because a lot of you are in remote areas, just make sure you let the guests know that you don't have it, because it is an expectation, okay? And if you don't have it, let folks know that there's a Starbucks 3 miles down the road, or there's an internet cafe down the road, okay? Because it's really going to be, it becomes not only a disappointment, but an anger point, okay? So just be aware of that. Pool, hot tub, air conditioning, kitchen, all those different kinds of things, really, really important. These are this next slide shows the must-have technologies that you have to have. High-speed internet is number one. Streaming services, you have to have streaming services. That is now expected. USB ports, please, 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 right? Don't make me move a bed to get to an electrical outlet to charge my cell phone. Just get an alarm clock that's got an internet port, that's got a USB port on it. They're $10, right? And so, but contactless check-in, smart home speakers, home office stuff, streaming services. You can read this as well as I can read read it to you. But these are the different the Gen Zers and millennials and those folks. So streaming services are very, very important. All right. So as we move forward, let's see, where am I? All right. So here's the thing. Here's my favorite thing to talk about is photos. Photos. If you guys have photos that are more than 2 years old, redo your photos, okay? I've been talking about this for 17 years, that a picture paints a million words, right? Take pictures of everything. Take pictures of all your amenities. 83% of people said that photos are important. I don't believe that statistic. I believe it's 100% of people say that photos are important. And properties with 25 or more photos are more likely to get booked on Vrbo. Take pictures of everything. Here's three ideas for you. One of our research has found that 25% of Vrbo travelers want a waffle iron in the house. Okay, take a picture of the waffle iron somehow. If you have a beach condo or beach home, take a picture of the high-speed blender. Okay. I used to, when I first heard about this, I thought, boy, they're really healthy people on the beach. No, margaritas, daiquiris, all that kind of stuff. People want a high-speed blender. And remember that we're talking about flexications, working from vacation. Show pictures of the coffee machine. Okay, so photos are really important. Virtual tours are even better. Okay. But just know that your photos are very important. And if they're more than 2 years old, you will want to audit them, okay? And make sure that your first picture on Vrbo is not a picture of a really clean bathroom, even though people want to see the bathroom, okay? Make sure that it is something a lot more interesting than your bathroom, okay? So, okay, just wanted to read that thing. Okay, so cancellation policies and cleanliness, very, very important. Make sure they're clear. Make sure they're to the extent on the cancellation policies are flexible. That is best, and it does help with conversions. Your amenities. Make sure you are communicating everything, including a kitchen. Okay, make sure inside your listings and on your websites even that you are letting people know, because there are so many new vacation rental guests that have come in because of COVID, right? And a lot of them don't know that they're kitchens. All of us go, well, it's a vacation rental. Of course, it's got a kitchen. Make sure you spell it out. And your photos and headlines are really, really important. Okay. So with that, I want to hand it over to Stacy to give you a quick update on what's going on with Vrbo and what we do for you.
Again, my name is Stacy Shimon, and I work on the partner success team here at Vrbo, and I work specifically with our property manager partners, and cannot stress enough how important you guys are to our business. You really provide great experiences to travelers and make it easy for them to find and book a great vacation rental. And so we really want to make things easy for you. So when you partner with Vrbo, you get access to our dedicated support teams and partner success teams. The number one thing I hear when I'm at conferences or out on the road or on the phone from our property managers is really how much they love the support and guidance they receive from Vrbo. So along with being able to actually talk to someone here at Vrbo anytime you pick up the phone, you also get access to a ton of data. So we can review your specific market trends and data with you to uncover opportunities for you to convert higher, get more bookings, and make more money. So like everything John just went over as far as amenities, photos, we can do a deep dive into your specific listings and see where there's room for improvement. We can show you the top search amenities in your specific market, as well as the number of average book nights to make sure you're showing up in as many search results as possible. So really, in the end, our job is just to make sure that you're getting as many bookings as possible. On top of that, as I mentioned, we have our dedicated technical support team, and they work only with property managers using software such as Guesty. So they're super knowledgeable and have the ability to troubleshoot issues with you directly. And then they also work very closely with the Guesty teams to get these issues resolved as quickly as possible. And so in the end, our whole job is to help you be successful. So let us work with you and for you, and we look forward to growing this future. And so that's really all I have to say.
I want to interject here for a second, and I think it's really important. As Stacy mentioned, we have two great teams, the Vrbo team and the Guesty team, working together. So with the technical support of Vrbo, you have the 24/7 support of Guesty that is always available for you, that is knowledgeable about the specific integrations and can really help you make the most out of your Vrbo integration and provide you our data across the board with our advanced analytics. So I really think that the synergy between the two solutions of Vrbo and Guesty provides the best of breed to cater for your needs at all times.
I couldn't have said it better, but I'm going to try to enhance that a little bit because so what does this mean? What does that mean to everybody on this call? What does this mean to you, right? The fact of the matter is our partnership with Guesty means that there's very little, if any, it's not us, it's them. There's no finger pointing, right? We work together on your behalf. If there's any problems that happen, we fix them together, right? So you're never going to get us get our folks saying to you, well, it's not our problem. Go call somebody else, right? So it's really, really important. I've been in high tech for almost 40 years. Wow, it's a long time. And I've worked for IBM, I've worked for Sun Microsystems and Oracle. And I'll tell you, the support and guidance that Vrbo and Guesty give are better than anything I've seen in any of these major Fortune 500 companies. Because the whole idea is not break fix, okay? It's not something's broken, call us. This is about support and guidance, right? Our job and our people is to talk with you, is to help you generate more bookings, to give you that coaching, to give you those insights. You pick up the phone, we're gonna answer it, right? There's real people talking to you. We want to have that relationship with you, and we've got Expedia Group has got as much data as anybody in the travel industry, maybe not Google, but anybody else, right? And we're bringing that to you. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call us. And our folks are responsible for helping you understand what's going on in your market, what's going on in the industry, how to optimize your listing. They will look at your listings and they will show you, hey, you might want to make these changes, okay? So I just wanted to share that with you. It's a wonderful, wonderful partnership between Guesty and Vrbo, and it's all about you. It's all about you, okay? And so with that, I'll just close with this. So again, some of you who have seen me speak have heard me say over the years that someday vacation rentals are going to become the mainstream of travel. Okay. I will tell you that with COVID, as bad as it was, one of the things that COVID did is it made vacation rentals the mainstream of travel. There was nothing else going on. We were travel. You were travel, right? And so with that, I mean, the demand and the visibility and the just the market realization of vacation rentals as a lodging option has just exploded. And if there was anything that I would say that is our job as Expedia Group and Vrbo, it's about demand generation. Okay, we are a demand generator for you. Now, the demand has gone like this, the supply hasn't. And that's why you've seen your rates go up and people willing to pay so much more because you've got so much pent-up demand. And we're moving forward with that in 2022. So, as I said at the very beginning, travel is a force for good, and we're going to move forward with that. That little video that we showed, we want to have millions and millions of those experiences and power that global travel for everybody. And powering global travel is easy to say, but it's a big remit because it's about technology. And so our job is to not only bring you that technology, bring you that data, but make it easy for you. Make it easy for you to do business so you can take advantage of all this. And it's all about love. It's all about bringing the world together. So I think we've got a really exciting, bright future together that goes beyond just the making money. So with that, I think we're going to go into Q&A, but Vera, thank you again for your partnership and inviting Stacy and me to participate today.
Thank you, John and Stacy. Such an insightful presentation. And to be honest, I almost shed a tear there with that commercial, right?
I do every time I see it.
I want to start with you, John. And let's be very practical here. Can you share the 3 pieces of advice you would give a vacation rental property manager that would improve their performance on Vrbo?
Yeah. Update your photos and update your amenities. Okay. And not only that, okay, so people go, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go buy a coffee machine. I'm gonna go buy a waffle maker. So those amenities will be updated. Take photos of them. Okay, don't forget the photos part of it. And so that's the first thing. Flexible cancellation policies to the extent that it makes sense to your business. Okay, there's folks out there who just it just doesn't make sense to them, but it does help with conversions. And the other thing that I didn't talk about that we're also seeing out there is in your fees, as you advertise your fees. To the extent that you can, and we're going to be coming out with some recommendations officially. So I'm kind of giving you a preview of this. What we're finding is that conversion drops off pretty significantly when you show more than 3 fees. Okay, so consolidate your fees. And to the extent that you guys can offer length of stay pricing, that's another thing as well. And what the length of stay pricing allows you to do is if someone comes in, if you've got a 5-day minimum, it could be because of government regulations or whatever, but if you've got a 5-day minimum and someone's looking for a 2-day stay, there are some people out there who will pay for 5 days in order to stay for 2. So give them that opportunity. Length of stay pricing allows you to do that. So those are if they're not the top 3, they're certainly right up there.
Awesome, very good advice. And you talked a lot about how Vrbo helps create a better experience and how you're there for the customer. But can you also give us some insights on how you feel you drive more quality bookings to property managers?
Oh, yeah. So we have found that when we say quality, right, the number one thing when we surveyed a whole bunch of property owners, right, vacation rental owners, what the most important thing was to them in renting their home, it wasn't money. It was the number by far, the most important thing to property owners is that the people using it love it and treat it the same as if it were their own, as if it was theirs, right? So we took that to heart. And that's kind of the demographic that we're after. And it's families and it's groups. And so those are the people that we're targeting. In addition to that, with regard to more quality bookings, you guys might have heard that we just announced moving forward with a single loyalty program. on Expedia Group, which means that you have your airline loyalty programs, you have your cruise loyalty programs, you have your car loyalty programs. We're going to consolidate all of those into one. So you'll be able to consolidate all of your airline points and cruise points and whatever points or hotel points and apply them to vacation rentals. Isn't that cool? Now, not only is it cool from the standpoint of the traveler, but what we've also found is that loyal customers are really great travelers. They're great. They're just really great people. And so you're seeing us moving forward with that. But the advertising campaigns that we're moving forward with are really important because, again, focusing on travelers. One thing I do want to share with you, if nothing else, use Expedia's websites as a research tool. Okay, we are doing research all the time, millions and millions and millions of dollars of research, and you can rest assured that whatever shows up on our websites has gone through many, many hours of vetting and millions of dollars. So whatever we're doing, I would encourage you to consider doing for yourself, right? Take a look at our websites because we can be your research arm. We can be your de facto research arm without you having to spend any money doing that. But the last thing I'll tell you is that we're working really, really hard with folks like you, Vered, just to make everything easier for the travelers, easier for you, the partner, easy for the property managers, to make things easier, faster, better for everybody. And we believe that as we do that and we do make things easier and faster, that it's just gonna accelerate everybody's success.
Thank you. And just on this topic, John, we also felt, especially during it's correct all the time, but especially during the pandemic, that we have the responsibility to serve as a resource, as a research arm for our customers, to tell them what's going on, what are the trends, what areas are coming out of the pandemic, what customers are looking for solutions at this time, how to get market, for example, how can they market for local destinations or local travelers. All this is extremely important, even more than ever before, due to the changing circumstances every other day, I'd say. So I'm really happy that we are both contributing in that sense to our customers.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we have some of the members of the audience that are connected to other OTAs. I don't know, maybe you heard of such names, like Airbnb or Booking. But
no,
no, never. But can you share some of the unique benefits you see with them connecting to Vrbo as compared to other OTAs, or why should they add, another OTA to the mix of their distribution?
Well, I can tell you my perspective, and I can tell you perspectives of people I've spoken to, because I speak to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. But I think first and foremost, we love property managers. We really, property managers, you folks are front row center with us, right? And we are absolutely committed. And so as we're moving forward, property managers are super important. So I think that, and it's one of my favorite sayings in the world is that your actions are speaking so loudly I can't hear a word you're saying, right? I would suggest for those of you who are interested in learning more about Vrbo is to talk to people who have worked with Vrbo, right? And ask them to validate the things Stacy and I have been telling you, right? We're very, very committed. We're also committed to getting you the best bookings and the best travelers. And probably most important is the human factor in doing business, in that we are real people. We want to talk with you. We want to help you. We want to work one-on-one with you. You're not going to, sometimes you get a please hold for the next available agent, right? But overall, you're going to be talking to real people who are going to give you prescriptive advice and counsel on how to do business better and how to do better business. So I think that, Stacy, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would totally echo everything you just said, John, from the account management team to customer support. The Vrbo traveler is just a different traveler than what you see from other OTAs. They stay longer, they spend more money, their families, their groups. I think John even said it, they respect the home. I often hear from property managers, it's just a better traveler. If they could only have Vrbo travelers, they said they would, but we understand, like, we can't provide everything. We would love to, but from what I hear from property managers, they really love the Vrbo traveler and the Vrbo support they receive. And I think that's what makes us unique.
Thank you. We said it's really not about the money, it's about the people. So I want to dive into, the bigger issues that are impacting the travel industry, such as sustainability and inclusivity. How is Vrbo or the Expedia Group in general thinking about that?
A lot. It's really interesting. You mentioned inclusion and diversity. We actually hired somebody in our our senior leadership team, a chief, whose sole job in life is to focus on inclusion and diversity. And of course, what we're doing is taking it to heart and really implementing it within Expedia Group, right? But we're also doing our part to educate the world, through our platform, the opportunities and what inclusion and diversity is. It's been unbelievably interesting and educational to understand and to learn other people's perspectives. Disableism. The idea of I never really thought about how disabled folks, whatever that disability may be, may view travel, right? I mean, we think about a lot of different things like wheelchairs and stuff, but then there's eating disorders, and there's oh my gosh, there's just so many different kinds of things, blind and deaf, and that's that's just one. And so understanding those things and educating and informing the travel community, the provider community like you, of not only what that is, but there may be opportunities, there may be business opportunities for you to as you learn about inclusion and diversity. And of course, the whole sustainability movement. We're moving forward, and actually we are working with and looking for companies who have sustainability as part of their prime mission. And we're going to communicate that. We're gonna use our platform to communicate those kinds of things as well. And we do have there is some power in having a platform like ours. And I'll just give you a quick example. One of the things that the industry and the industry association, VRMA, has wanted to focus on in the past has been professionalism in this industry, right? Not only for owners, but also for property managers. There are great property managers out there, and there's great owners out there, wonderful professional people. And then there's not, right? On both sides of that ledger. And so, so it's been interesting that the bar of professionalism has actually gone up just by nature of how we do business, right? And how we do business online, and the professionalism that we communicate on the platform that you guys communicate through our platform. And so there's a lot of really wonderful things that we can be doing. And of course, we got lots of research, we got lots of data, using that data to understand how we can do better and how we can create more opportunities for you guys. Revenue performance is a big thing. How do I set my rates, especially these days, right? How do we do that? Well, we know what supply is. We know what demand is. One of the things that you're going to be seeing us coming out with next year is a really cool revenue management tool that's going to help you. That's going to be based on live data. And so, there's a lot of things that we can do. And as we do them, we want to make them available to you, right? And we want to make them available to your customers, Vered, everybody, so that you can have access to all this information on a self-service basis. But that's a little bit about the future.
Wonderful. I want to talk about a couple of the trends that we've been seeing throughout the pandemic. One of them is the fact that people were more interested in rural areas than urban, and now we're starting to see urban escapes coming back again. But I'm sure there are still some concerns. So I would love to hear your thoughts, Stacy and John, about what do you recommend to property managers that do have properties in urban areas? How do they attract new personas?
Yeah, and I think we are starting to see a rebound of urban areas. But what I think is important is they're still looking for that kind of private space in an urban area, right? So they want the kitchens, they want the amenities. They also want to know what there is to do outside of that besides, busy restaurants, amusement parks. So show them like the outside areas, talk to them about how close you are to the park. Our demographic is still family and group travel. So you want to make sure that you're promoting those types of amenities that they're looking for. Like I mentioned, outdoor socially distanced dining and activities nearby. Headlines are a great place to kind of include that information. You always want to talk about the amenities and location, where you are, what they're going to do, and what they can do at the house. And then also with those urban markets, I think it's super important to have probably a more flexible cancellation policy, since that's probably a higher concern. Or offer some type of rebooking if they need to cancel last minute.
One just quick, really easy thing that I thought was really great when I rented a condo was a picture of the sign that said only 4 people in the elevator at a time. When you're dealing with urban locations, oftentimes you're dealing with elevators. And so that was just an indication to me that they are still thinking about it, right? And trying to keep everybody as safe as possible. So a photo of the sign, just an idea.
By the way, the flexibility in cancellation policies is something we're seeing across the board. It's very, very clear that when you have, especially at this time, people are looking for that flexibility just because they don't know what's going to happen, right? There's going to be travel restrictions, a new variant. So people would really rather have that flexibility. So we definitely see the same information in our data. Another thing that was, very clear throughout the pandemic is domestic travel. People going to drive-through destinations due to all this. But do you feel that, let's say that in a few months, COVID is behind us, okay, let's fingers crossed. Do you feel that now with international travel coming back, we know that the restrictions have just been lifted coming into the US internationally as an example. Do you feel the domestic travel is here to stay, or will we see it winding down throughout the next years?
So do we feel that domestic travel is here to stay? Absolutely. And again, part of it is because of the awareness of vacation rentals. And all of a sudden, a whole new set of people have learned about vacation rentals. So that demand curve has gone up significantly. In addition to that, you have the pent-up demand, right? People have not been able to travel, and just like that video that we showed, people want to see their people, right? Whether it's family, whether it's friends, and so you have that happening. What do we think 2022 is going to? Probably the top question I ever get is, what does 2022 look like? I mean, who knows? But we do know that the bookings are up almost across the board domestically, and that pent-up demand is still there, and that demand curve is new. It's never going to go away. And so that is a really, really wonderful thing. As far as international travel is concerned, we're seeing more and more markets open up, and it's super, super exciting. One of our recent surveys said that 27% of people looking to travel are looking to travel internationally next year. And that's huge. And I don't believe that people in the United States are any different than anybody else in the world in terms of having been cooped up, having had cabin fever, having been separated from their families. Everybody in the world wants to get out and travel and wants to travel in a safe way as they ramp up into the post-COVID world. And so it's very, very exciting. And the other part is that we're seeing a really strong connection between travel and vaccination rates, right? As vaccination rates go up, travel goes up. And so you're seeing lots and lots of that happening, and it's just a trend that seems to be continuing into 2022.
It's funny, I talked to someone about the fact that we see that any positive news relating to COVID creates spikes in booking patterns, right? Like vaccinations to children, spike. Restrictions are lifted coming into the US, spike. Restrictions lifted in any other country, spike. People are really looking for reasons to travel, for reasons to book the next vacation, which is amazing. And by the way, we have surveyed more than 500 members of the travel ecosystem with Guesty. And we asked them if they believe that those, newcomers to the short-term rental industry are here to stay or not. And more than 83% believe that it's a sustained trend that we'll continue to see. And they were seeing more and more returning guests from those new personas. So definitely some optimistic view in that regard.
And by the way, that's one of the things that's great about Expedia Group. This is not a commercial. This is just a fact, right? Because when people go to Expedia Group or Expedia and they look for a hotel, now they're seeing vacation rentals, right? So now it's just becoming a part of the entire travel ecosystem, and so it's here to stay.
Yeah, and I think that kind of answers one of the questions. We do have some Q&A in there. I wanted to address some of that if we have a moment. But one of the questions was about Guesty to Expedia, but I did just want to point out, when you list with Vrbo, you automatically get exposure onto Expedia. So you get that additional exposure to those travelers who may not still be thinking vacation rental. Their headspace might still be in hotel, but then once they see your property on Expedia, they're like, hey, well, that's a better option. That's a better price, and get you there. So definitely another perk of listing with Vrbo is the additional exposure you get to the Expedia Group and all of the international sites we have as well.
And by the way, yes, we are launching very soon the direct Expedia connection as well. But going back to a question that also relates to this topic, we've seen you do some great campaigns throughout the pandemic. And I know that the Expedia Group launched the Where Next campaign, inviting travelers to explore destinations and share experiences virtually. And I feel that, even now when I go to a conference, even if it's physical, there is a virtual component to it of networking. And do you see that we'll have to use more and more digital components to the real live experience of hosting? Is that something that you recommend property managers to be thinking of?
Yeah, definitely. So we do offer virtual tours on Vrbo, and we work with a number of companies, Matterport, Inside Maps, Smart Shoot, that allows you to shoot your virtual tour and then upload it onto Vrbo. We do have a free Inside Map virtual tour to give out to one of you guys attending this webinar. So we'll get in touch with you after this. But yeah, of course, it gives the traveler an even better experience than your 25, 50 photos. They get to see, hey, this room is close to this room, and this is where this kid can sit, and this is where mom and dad can be. And so yeah, having the virtual tour is definitely impactful. And those who do have a virtual tour already, the traveler spends a longer time looking at your listing, and then that result is probably going to lead to a higher conversion rate. So yeah, definitely recommend it. And there's a ton of different companies out there that are doing it.
Thank you. There are several questions, and I don't think we'll have time to address all of them, but we will try to respond at a later time. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll share an email address at the end where you can ask all your questions, and we'll be sure to answer all your questions there. I do want to end this with one, more general question to you, Stacy and John. With all that you've seen this past year, what are you most excited about the future of travel? And how do you see Vrbo continuing to empower property managers to be more successful in the coming year?
Stacy, you want to go with that first?
Well, of course, I'm just so excited to see, vaccinations going up, people not getting sick, and just travel returning. I know I feel safer now going out and traveling with my young daughter and my family and going to visit my parents. So I'm definitely looking forward to just being able to travel more, see the people I love. I'm super excited that vacation rentals are becoming such a mainstream thing, because I think once you go vacation rental, you never go back. And then, another thing is I'm super excited just about the trajectory of Vrbo and Expedia and how we're going to use all the technology we have within both platforms to serve our property managers the best.
Yeah, I've got an answer in two parts. The first part is I couldn't be more excited in the opportunity that we all have. Really, and again, this is going to sound really Pollyannish, but really make the world a better place, right? Bringing people together, and we really have that opportunity. And like I said, we need it, right? We need it. Everybody needs it. And to that end, there's just so much opportunity ahead of us, and what we're going to be doing for you, and we being Expedia Group and Guesty, for you guys, is bringing the technology to you, bringing the ability to you to leverage our data, to be able to take advantage of all the information that's out there through us, and we're in the process of making it easier with each passing day. Technology is worthless if you can't use it, right? Data is worthless if you can't read it and can't interpret it. And so the whole idea is taking this massive, wonderful opportunity that we have ahead of us, and giving you, empowering you with the tools, the data, and the demand, to build a better business for yourself. So there's a lot of really great things coming.
Yeah, and I just want to add that I agree with everything you said, and to address also a couple of questions that I saw here. We definitely see the short-term rental industry outperform the hotel industry during COVID. It has definitely gone mainstream in a sense, even though we've been through a rough period. It has made us stronger. It has proven that this industry is more resilient than the hotel industry, that new travel personas that emerge are looking for the amenities that short-term rentals provide rather than the hotel industry. So definitely we see a very bright future going forward. Don't miss our upcoming virtual meetup about how to make your listing stand out, inspiration from unique property management companies. So definitely, as I've mentioned, the advantage of our industry, that there are so many unique properties out there, tree houses and castles and whatnot. And we'll be talking more about that. It was great to have you, John and Stacy. Such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. And to our audience, please feel free to email your questions to meetup@guesty.com. We'll be sure to address all of them. And looking forward to a great year for the short-term rental industry. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you, everybody.